committed musicians. Let's do this shit. Let's get into it. Piano intervals into a wordless lyric, right? That's the two skills we're going to be working on this morning. And another thing that I want to try, I want to suggest to you all, I want to challenge you. Oh, we got a moderation little thing there. Okay, just want to make sure we're recording. It's like moderating helps everyone feel safe. That was what was showing up. Okay, so preparatively, you want the chord wheel, right? You want that on display. We're going to be working with from F to C, right? So we're in C. Let's see if I can put this over here. There we go. You definitely want some paper. You want some paper to, this one's broken right here, as you can see. It's pretty dirty as well, but it's gonna fucking work. So I'm gonna put that in C. It's always, on piano, it's always great to work in the key of C. There's no sharps or flats. Your voice, I mean, you're on all white keys. You're not gonna have to deal with accidentals or sharps or flats, you know, naturals, things like that, within different key signatures, right? It's just like everyone's signature, right? It's just a little bit different. So, you know, you can look up the circle of fifths or the circle of fourths. There's even something that I learned recently called the circle of thirds, or to play tertiarily or within groupings of thirds. So real quick, just a little bit of musical theory knowledge. All music, as you're reading it and as you're playing it, even if you don't read music, right? Or you just strictly sight read and you don't create music, all music is grouped into groups of twos or duple, or groups of threes or triplets, right? Twos or threes. You definitely gonna want to get the chord wheel. It's huge. Treat yourself with kindness, right? Treat yourself, man. You do. You need to fucking treat yourself good, right? Get that heart connection going. Give a fuck about yourself, right? Before you get the inspiration, right? Before you do your musical meditation, I've scribbled right here. I want to make sure this fucking pen is working, right? Keep a pencil nearby. Keep a lighter. Light some fucking candles. Collect skulls. Whatever you gotta do to display your work center, right? Whatever you gotta do to figure out what that wordless lyric is gonna come into, right? I'm recording right now. I suggest recording everything that you make, especially if you're doing a songwriting session, okay? So I'm gonna keep that up here so you can kind of see it. Right near this B. Be about it, right? Okay, so you do want to warm up your hands too. You know, you can do this, right? Get into like drummer workouts where you're actually using your drumsticks to slightly hyperextend with the use of like bringing out your drumsticks like this. Let's see if I can get them out. There we go. Yeah, a lot of drummers will do this. They'll grab their sticks and hyperextend their hand inward and also outward to focus on the shit we're just not doing, right? We're not woken up, we're not like waking up into limberness and dexterity, right? And playing towards dynamics, right? That is developed, right? That's preparatively executed before, after we wake up and before we play, right? So, you know, for drummers, we can go to the pad, right? We can go to your pad, right? Right? We can do all that stuff. And something that drummers know, right, is a sway or a shift, right? We have to be our lower lumbar. We have to work that out, right? You gotta be comfy. I'm in my fucking boxers right now. I'm in a muscle shirt, right? I've already stretched a little bit. I've loosened my neck, my shoulders, and this is, you know, your waist is something that on piano, when you have a chair like this and you go, oh, let me get the music out, right? And you get in there and you're like, boom, you get the music out, you put it on, right? There's certain like ergonomics that just don't work for the piano and the piano stool, right? I like a wide stool, I like that, I think that's nice. You've seen like the black ones where you're just, it's pretty much, that's as wide as you're gonna get is, you know, what your hips are at, so maybe like, you know, 1.5 to 2 feet. So I like a wider bench so you can actually lean in, but we're talking about ergonomics too, so let's try something different, right? Let's take this out of the situation and let's bring our drum throne in. What this is gonna do, and you definitely need like a height adjustment, you can use an office chair and take the arms off, just get underneath and take them off, right? You don't want anything resting, you don't want to like rest your hands on an office chair, right? That's why for guitarists, we don't want that. We want the guitar hugging it like this at a 45-degree angle, right? Same thing with ergonomics on piano, right? It's just gonna be from, this is a major 7th, right? Right, that resolution, that leading tone, that T-do, right? That's what we're working against, that root note of F. It's almost resolving, it wants to resolve. That's the way, that's why it's called a leading tone, right? It's wanting to go, right? It's right below it. Right? Playing that bass, right? Sometimes your body actually needs to hear certain notes. Even though that they're the same note, they're a different octave or different register. I'm talking about the voice being about right here, right? From middle C, C4 onward. Oh, we got a visitor. Yeah. Let me go get him. I'm doing a live right now. I'll be right back. We got a delivery. There's a delivery, Johnny. Okay, sorry about that. Real life, right? Okay, so what I was saying is, as far as the vocal register, right? The vocal register is C4, right about that 2-octave register, right? That's the first octave, right? That's really high for a dude, right? I mean, unless you're Freddie Mercury, right? Right, we are the champions. That's where that's at. We, that high F, right? So, right? So we're going from, there's our F. He's coming down. I got a live going, I'm teaching right now. No, not at all. I just knocked on his door, but okay, I don't know. You might have the wrong address. There's like a, yeah, or the wrong person. I'm sorry. He's a junior. Or yeah, there's been mail coming to our house from a different
was born in
John.
67.
Okay, yeah, that's not him. You got the wrong house, yeah.
So there's a John Mitchell the Bishop, but it's not. It's his
Yeah,
son.
it's his son, yeah.
And you don't know the adult senior anymore?
I have no clue where he lives, or, yeah. I'm not sure, dude. Yeah, sorry.
Would your son be willing to give it to him?
I'm on a live right now. There's like 90 pieces of mail here. Yeah, and I've got to get back to the lesson. No, no, sir, I can't. I gotta honor my commitment. I'm so sorry. I know you have your commitment too, but like, I just knocked on his door. So, and I'm Troy Morgan. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry, dude. Holy shit. Okay. All right. Back to it. Dude's like knocking again. I'm like, man, I fucking told you, man. Okay, so yeah, there we go. So this will come off, which sucks, but it allows it to not bite right here. So I just bit it. I just tightened that, and I was like, oh shit, I'm getting rid of my ergonomics. I want to be able to have that ergonomic flow to the right, flow to the left, right? And okay, there it is. There it is, perfect right there. Okay, so working in the key of C, right? I'm gonna do this F chord, right? Right pedal. All I'm doing is just establishing flow through feel, right? It's dynamics, right? It's taking it a little bit too slower, kicking it back a little bit, relax into that wordless lyric, right? Yes, we have our intervals, but if you don't want to get into that shit, you don't have to. You can actually just play what you hear. It's so important for us, the skill to develop scat, and to develop, I call it Jack Blackisms, you know, like using scat to lean into the wordless lyric, right? It's solfeggio, right? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, do, ti, do, ti, do, ti, do, right? It's a lot of Sound of Music shit, right? Do, right? Or do, dear, right? You have all those things within, look up solfeggio or solfege, right? To sing within solfege or stepwise motion, right? When we talk about intervals, all we're talking about an interval is the distance from one note to the next note, any next note, right? So we're going with our left hand, right? Just in case this is flipped, I think it's good. Same chord, same major seventh chord, but on the C, right? So in my mind, what I'm doing, I'm actually looking at the groupings of 2 black keys and the 3 black keys just below middle C. There's the 3 black keys below middle C4, right? And then the 2, right? Okay, so that's all I'm doing. I'm highlighting in my mind. I'm using this, the juxtaposition between the black and the white keys to find F3 and C3, right? That's where it starts, C3, C sharp 3, D3, right? C4, middle C, right? So playing against that with the C4, right? It has that plagal cadence sound 4-1, right? And within context, right? Your ear hears this. Which is kind of dissonant when you think about it. Right? You have to fill in those notes. You got to get the third 3rd, and the 7th figured out, right? Sometimes a 9th added on top, sometimes an 11th or a 13th, right? It's that second octave above the root note that you're playing. That's where all the color comes from, is that second octave. Going from, finding the note, saying the note, singing the note, right? And then playing it an octave higher, right? Matching up, using that Jack Black solfeggio scat terminology and turning it into a real fucking tool, right? No bullshit. We're committed musicians, right? We're dealing in feelings, right? We're dealing in feelings. We're trying to figure out what the hell our mind is doing through feeling, and feelings begat words, right? So we're gonna work literally live. I have no lyrics. I've practiced a little bit this morning of this 2-chord progression, right? F major 7. There's the 3rd and the 5th, 3rd and the 5th, 3, 5, right? And then you can even keep that C, D, E. You can even keep that E in there. And that's where my melody goes. Like I hear da 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 da. Right? That's my melody. It has harmony in it as you block off those chords, right? That's what we call blocking off a chord. Boom. Right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that to the next octave higher, right? Boom, this is where I'm blocking off my chords. Boom, that's my next octave. So let's do that. There's that high C, right? So the fingering for that, you have that C chord, and then I also have the next C, the next E, and the next G, right? C, E, G. Those are the triads. Look up triads, right? Triads. Right? Triangle, triads, it's a grouping of 3, just like I said. It's either groupings of 2 notes or groupings of 3 notes. There's no other, you can subdivide the beat however you want to, within a key signature, right? Within a tempo, right? This over that over this, right? Whatever you want to juxtapose. But that kind of sounds nice too. Very rich chords, right? But we're talking about songwriting. We're talking about a wordless lyric. So I'm gonna play this and I'm gonna stop, and I'm lucky I can write with my right hand, right? And block off those chords, right? I'm gonna be singing the melody, right? Instead of playing it here, I'll play it maybe to work out what notes I'm singing, but this right hand is always inferring knowledge to your vocal capabilities, right? The contrast that the wordless lyric gives us mentally, right? When we find that first word, so all I'm doing, I'm working it from a feeling, right? I'm only writing word legend descriptive words, right? I'm saying, okay, this sounds dreamy. I'm gonna write down dreamy, right? And I'm gonna write it down at the bottom. 1, dreamy. 2, it sounds open, right? It sounds a little bit more open voicing, right? We're getting into like terminology of like where we put those notes, we do have to play those notes for that specific chord, right? Those notes are not going to lie to us. But you can have a closed voicing or an open voiced or voicing chord, right? So, yeah, to me, it sounds dreamy, number one, and two, it sounds open. And I'm gonna say, this is a thought process, right? Okay, so now it sounds hopeful. I'm just gonna say hopeful, right? Full of hope, right? When we mess with the syntax, you're gonna get something different, right? The story is gonna change. The wordless lyric will become those words, and we'll find, you know, maybe we'll use the word hopeful. Let me look at the comments here. A Sailor Song by IMX. That's cool. Okay. Fahima Tahiti. That's a cool, sick name. I like that. Noah Orel. Hello, how's it going, y'all? Just wanted to check in over here. A Sailor Song. Okay. That's awesome, you guys. All right, so, hey, Angie. All right, so we're gonna get to, now that we have our drum stool, I'm just gonna work on the spacing. I think that feels pretty good. I'm a little bit over the top of it, right? I'm kind of hovering over the top of it, or like a C shape as far as my hand position. But all we're working with is, you know, I'm gonna kind of shift it over to the right a little bit, so this hand's not pushed to my right, where all the melody notes are, right? So the rule of thumb is usually C4, your left hand is gonna be the bass, right? Or the chords, right? A big ass guitar chord, right? And the great thing about having a digital piano, right? Or a digital guitar, or like a looper or an electric guitar, is you can loop into that, right? And you can create a backing track for yourself to relieve that mental acuity and that mental like jump rope that you have to deal with and figure out, right? That is taking away from the lyrics. It truly is. It's, if you want to manifest lyrics and you want to do it within the context of the feeling, right? The central feeling, the highest thought process that you can block off, right? In all of songdom, right? All the songs that have ever been sung, all the songs that you've ever listened to, the repetition of those songs, right? That's led us to the wordless lyric of the newest idea, right? What's usually talked about in the songwriting world, right, is the newest song that you're creating right now, it's always the sexiest, it's always the most badass, it's always the one you want to play and repeat 38 times in a row and be like, oh, I love that. You have the demo, right? It's not polished, but it's honest, right? We want an honest demonstration or demo, right, of where the wordless lyric took us to, right? And so we're working within this. I hear that. That's good voice, or that's good part writing, right? From the, or actually it's, listen to that as I play it. So that, the fifth in the F chord, right? Taking the sustain pedal off, leads down to the seventh of the C. Someone was here for your dad, and I just told him, I was like, I don't know who you're talking about. He doesn't live here. And I was just like, yeah, I was going live. I was like, dude, I'm fucking live, man. And he like abruptly knocked again. I was like, I'm Troy. Like, he was like, well, what's your name? I'm like, dude, do I look 66 to you or whatever? Or like, he said his age. And I was just like, okay, well, man, what the fuck ever. Like, you're gonna be rude. Like, and he just left. He was like, I'm from our
Did you say that at delivery came?
No, it was like papers or some shit
Oh,
for Johnny's dad. Yeah.
Waiting for a delivery. Got
Oh,
it.
shit. Damn it. Totally. So the F to the C. So the fifth. We always hear the top note. That's the melody line. That's why in sappy, soprano, alto, tenor, bass. That soprano line, it cuts through. And you want to sing that. That's the highest note. It's we, and within the key. Right, that's We Are the Champions, right? I used that reference before. So within key. Let's do replacement theory as far as going from a wordless lyric to something that we know, something that is soprano territory, right? Something that everybody knows, right? We will rock you until we are the champions, or we are the champions until we will rock you. We are the champions, my friend. Keep on fighting to the end. Oh yes, we are the champions, my friend. And we'll keep on fighting to the end. Right, so using lyrics that you have memorized to dive into the feeling sense, or what the hell that wordless lyric means, what it's trying to translate itself into, other than these descriptive word legend specific, but not the fucking song words, right? So dreamy, open, hopeful. That's what I have so far. And I'm gonna be playing this. Because I don't have a looper pedal, this is an acoustic instrument, right? It has strings inside there, right? It's a stringed instrument, but it's a hammered instrument, like a dulcimer, or like an auto harp, right? You press one note on that harp, and these pre-set up hammers will usually pluck, they'll come up and pluck those notes for that chord, which is a one-button chord, like the omnichord or whatever, right? And so we're just gonna go into playing it just like a looper pedal. And I'm literally gonna harmonize with those words from the word legend until a better word or something settles in. The only word, I guess all of them can be used within lyrics, but like, I really am going to try to write a song right now with just these two chords. Okay, so I'm just sitting with it. I'm letting myself be bored. I'm not worried about timing, right? I'm playing through. Not hard enough, right? I'm honoring the mistakes that I'm making for the sole purpose of getting to the lyrics. It's similar to when music is redone or remixed in classical music. It's called recapitulation. It's just a big ass word for do something different. Fuck with it, right? Okay. I forgot my melody for a second. I had to remind myself. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna say these words. Dreaming. right? Don't edit it right now. Just throw spaghetti at the fucking wall, right? That's our job, is not to revise as we're making it. That's for later. It's I don't know why. V colon, right? I don't know why. Space, right? I don't know why. I don't know why. And taking it towards the opposite. I think I know why I'm hopeful. And sometimes when you have a like a pluralization of a word, taking it towards the singular version of that, we don't, or changing out the I statement. We don't know why. You don't know why. Us, right? Sometimes us is at the end, syntax wise, right? So let's just kind of take this. Okay. We're just gonna loop this live, right? Or I'm gonna play that. I don't know why. Coming in on the Y, right? I don't know why. I am hopeful. I am hopeful. And I'm literally like almost like a matrix. It's the I don't know why, I am hopeful, right? I'm honoring the syllables of what I'm actually saying. I'm gonna count those out if I have to, right? It's good to do that from the beginning. I don't know why. 4, boom. Write it in the margin. I am hopeful. 4, okay, cool. I'm feeling into that, right? I'm trying to, I usually write lyrics, or try to, right, in this chair. It makes me feel safe. It's a circle, right? It's unbroken. There's no hard ass corners to it, right? But wherever you can, right? If it needs to be at the piano, or you play the piano, you demo it, right? You record it on your phone, you put it to your ear, you put it on repeat. Sometimes I'll do a video of it, because on iPhones, it'll loop the video. And so you can kind of sit with it. That's your looper. You don't need a fucking $100, $700 loop station like I have. You can deal with it where you need to write the song from, which is the basic necessities, right? So, okay, so we've got the syllabalization out. 4 and 4, that makes 8. That's our first line, okay? I don't know. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna use kind of this colon, right? I don't know. I'm gonna actually do brackets around that. So make sure that with your lyrics, you're drawing. You're kind of having that sensibility of what you would do as you work on the imagery, right? Anything that pops out, anything that this is technically a lead-in part when you're reading sheet music, right? So what I'm doing to remind myself or denote that, right? If I lost my damn mind and I got dementia and it was full onset, boom, or I got head trauma, right? I could come back to this and I could be like, oh, the brackets, why is that separate from the Y? I don't know, boom, Y, boom, right? I'm gonna be able to further finish this song and alliterate that. Let's say it's not finished yet, right? I got dementia. I'm gonna be able to know that, and also I'm gonna be able to quickly see that and honor it for what it is, versus just a splat sheet of words. Yes, you can do that on a different sheet of paper when you have the lyrics, but don't revise right now. You can. It's an additive art form right now. It's not reductive, right? We're not trying to. It's like Rick Rubin was called by Jay-Z as a reducer, right, or a producer. Produce, right? We're not reducing anything yet. We're producing. It's a production effort. Just like being a part of theater production, you're off script at a certain point. The script is the spikes, where everyone goes, what the story is, how it projects into you know, the natural flow of how we feel. It should go, okay, it's newness, right? Or conflict, initial conflict, subtle foreshadowing, problem, going into the belly of the beast, the underworld, right? The hero of 1,000 faces with Joseph Campbell, right? The storylines like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, all that shit, going from the happy underside to the belly of the beast, right? Living to tell a story, coming back to people who haven't had that journey, right? Or haven't written this song, right? And so we're sharing this. We're trying to give warning, give heed, give inspiration through lyric, right? It's not, lyric isn't something you wear, right? It's not something you are, it's something that is. It's the depth of feeling. If you had to cry into a feeling and then write those words down, or if you had those words and you were trying to act out this thing, like in comedy, if there's an act out, there's something that you physically have to rehearse and perform and alliterate through motion, or right through dance, right, or through movement. We're talking about ergonomics of movement, of getting to the right side of the piano. It's more important to be going towards your left side on the piano, and those ergonomics, right? But my lyrics are over here too. I could have them here. That might work. Let's try it. So we've got the pen here. Try to mark up the, close the pen, right? Boom. As soon as you open that or click that pen, right, it's on like Donkey Kong. It's happening, right? So I don't know what, I'm gonna snap to it. I don't know why I'm hopeful. I just am. Right? So now it's turned into, I don't know why I'm hopeful. I just am. So that was a complete thought. It was a period, right? That's all I had. Now that period's gonna turn into a comma. Same, working within the I statements. It always has to happen for you first within the context of songwriting, right? Otherwise, people don't give a fuck. They don't care what you're experiencing unless you accurately and with newness and vulnerable attention, right? Describe your story. Paint the picture. Alliterate, right? Go deep. One time someone gave me a diss and they were like, oh, your lyrics are so deep, they're too deep for the music. And I had to work that shit out, right? So, right? It's such a great word. Totally. Oh yeah, I'll try to do that, the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, the Linus and Lucy song, that's what that's called, to look it up, yeah. I actually sung that in honors choir, so it was pretty cool. Very hard. We abandoned that song. Right? That's how hard it was. There's a lot of solfeggio or scatting lyrics, right? Right? Allowing the sound, the contour of the word, forming of the word to hint at or alliterate towards the actual words that people are going to hear, right? But that's a feeling, right? Right? It's a contrasting A part. It's A prime, right? It's a little bit like A. It's not B yet. It's that's the, right? That leading tone. Right? Analyzing the interval between the riff, right? The right? It could be a B part if you want to think about it like that. Whatever helps you, right? But it's A prime, technically. Right? But we're dealing in feelings, right? This terminology is bullshit. It doesn't fucking matter if you can't get to the lyric. So, I don't know why I am hopeful. Having that bodily movement, that bilateral movement, right? Of rocking a fucking baby to sleep. That's what we're doing in our brain as we're having that bilateral stimulation, is we're dancing, right? Let me see if I can dance. Yeah, we're going almost like a capoeira movement, where it's the feet, it's going to the feet, right? It's the feet forward, stepping in and then stepping out and shifting, right? Talking about that ergonomic function of what the triangle, the equilateral triangle does right here. The application of notes, the convergence of those notes onto you. You're the base. Well, actually, you're the pinnacle of the triangle, right? But it's inverted, right? Melody over self, self under melody. However you want to think about that, right? The juxtaposition of that. So, lyrics, I don't know why. If you can snap to it, however you can get there. You know, I think about it like jump roping. Like, whatever you fucking got to do that. Double Dutch is different. It's fucking hard to do two things at once or jump over 2 jump ropes and not literally trip and fall on your fucking face, right? We don't want to do that. We want to be safe, seen, heard, alliterate towards the storyline. And it's bullshit. It doesn't seem like much. It's not an official, Palm Pilot pad of paper. It doesn't look pretty. It actually has some water damage on it. You can see that. I spilled some water. I was like, I should fucking throw this away. I need something better, right? The perfectionist vibe of like, oh, it's not good enough. I should, it's tough. It's tough to like say that I'm not good enough or to, write the next line, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, and then change up 4 lines digitally, right? It's another cool method of what you could do to write lyrics. Everybody knows English. Everybody loves music. You don't have to be a musician to be musical, right? So become a lyricist, become a poet. Usually poetry is the introduction into becoming a lyricist, right? We're always becoming. We're never stopping. Being a lifelong learner, right? So I don't, and sometimes saying it without the notes. Da 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 da. I don't know why I'm hopeful. And being careful with that just word, because I'm gonna put a comma here to denote some emphaticness. And I'm gonna put AM ... The ellipsis right there. Okay? It's just like these dots, right? Print yourself off a 5-finger pattern of the notes, right? And it's interesting, if you look at it, this C major looks exactly like a D minor. Also, going back up to the C minor is literally a mirror image of the D major. It's flipped. Same thing with here. You got 2 black notes in E major. You flip it to F minor, same 2 black notes. Sorry, let me get that better. There we go. Same 2 black notes, but the inversion or the mirrored flip, same as over here, but it's different, right? That one's 1, 2, space, 3, 4, 5 with the black note on the 3rd note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So it's flipped here from D major to F major, right? But there's these shapes like constellations in the fucking sky, right? This is the roadmap. This is the right? The display, or if you could stretch out a rubber band, right? That's the scale, right? These are scales. Scales have patterns, chords, right? Chords over here on the left end of the piano have shapes, right? Scales, patterns, chords, shapes, right? Pattern is, I think of the word pattern, right? We're alliterating into the functionality of the verbiage that we're using, right? The so what, who cares, who gives a damn? Who gives a damn what the terminology is? Is it effective? Is it actually helping you within the songwriting process, right? So this helps. This is the roadmap. Going back to the lyric, right? I don't know why I am hopeful. I just am. And doing that, and dancing that around, doing that bilateral stimulation. 1, 2, counting out 3, 4, or, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? It's like counting to 8 or 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, but you don't have to worry about 7. That's the only 2-syllable word, right? Until you get to 11, or 12. 7 and 11 are 2-syllable words that fuck up counting to 12, which is the full coloration of a note. So 13th note is the first note, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? The resolution from 11, or major 7 to T-do, right? To 12 to 13, the next note within the key. So I don't know why. So talking it out in monotone, using monotone or non-chromatics, right? Da 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 on a 1 syllable, right? I don't know why I am hopeful. I just am. That's getting into the drumming world of the rhythmic functionality of, yes, we're singing through harmony and using melody to paint, right? This right hand is painting, this hand is stability, right? It's giving that painting stability. It's kind of the framework for the canvas. Boom. Okay, let's block this shit out. Left hand, let's get some fucking chords under this, right? Let's find some notes. So for this song, see, right? That leading tone helped me to get the melody to get to the lyrics, right? First it sounded dreamy, then I thought it sounded open. So I'm just gonna say this is a meditation. It's no bullshit, it's a meditation. Dreaming, I'm dreaming. There we go, I'm dreaming, right? Anytime you can have an action verb, like love is like struggle. Struggle is an action verb, like love. Oh, I got some low battery here. Okay, I got 20% to fucking make my point, right? So let's try to finish the song in let's see, it's 47. So let's go to the hour and do a full hour lesson. And yeah, let's work from dreaming. Let's see if we can find a contrasting part to the verse. Maybe this is the chorus. Maybe the verse is the chorus. Don't be afraid to switch that up, but later, right? Just splat sheet, right? S-P-L-A-T-T. Throw it on the paper, see what sticks. We can always remove or erase later, right? Fuck with the syntax, right? I don't know why, I don't know why, I don't know why. I am hopeful, I just am. I had that last. So playing the melody, right? Use your left hand if you have to. Don't make it harder than it has to be. You're like, oh, well, I have to obey the rules and I have to play it only with my right hand. All these fucking piano teachers that are like, you have to have proper pedagogy of pedagogy. It's too much for the brain to like juggle. It's like jump roping or juggling, or right? We have this independent line over here, and then we have this blocking off of chords that's happening. That's drummer and singer. Left hand, drummer. Right hand, singer. Right? Which are two different types of musicians or musicality, right? Or at least how our brain is approaching those two things, right? The juxtaposition. There's always the underside of the coin. The shiny, cool shit, the sexy shit on top, the badass, rough, nasty demo, just dirty sounding. It's what makes this contrast, right? The dirtiness, the roughness, the imperfection of the underworld, right? The shitty parts of our life, the journey, the pain, all the bullshit infers knowledge to the bright, sexy, gorgeous things, the money, right? All the cool shit, the nice ass pad of paper, the legal paper that costs $150 at fucking, leather bound planner, with the calculator built inside, you know, fucking 1990s special, right? All these things that we're being sold to, right? You know, the specific thing is the feeling sense. What do we get from the song? What's the payoff? What does it do for us first? How we can project that or display that, edify the shit out of that idea, those words made into the idea, right? Into the crowd. So they can feel something. Some people come to shows to fucking feel things, to get out of their bullshit life, the underbelly, and get towards out into the world, climb the tower, climb the mountain, right? Fleetwood Mac, right? Landslide, climb the mountain, then turn around. You know, with a change in tides, right? All these alliterated words, or you call them lyrical one-liners, or bumper stickers, or fortune cookies, whatever you have to do to denote the so what, who cares, who gives a damn of the feeling sense of the lyrics, right? I'm doing a word legend at the bottom, it's just because of how I learned it, right? I want the excess material down here, I want the extra verses, I'm gonna write 5 verses. I'm gonna choose 3. I'm gonna pare that down, I'm gonna see which one is the weakest out of that 3. I'm gonna have 2 badass verses. I'm always gonna have my better verse as my second verse. Yes, I wanna have the first 2 lines of the first verse just out in front like a racehorse or a greyhound, right? Boom! I want to explosively start. I want those first 2 lines of my verse to paint a picture that's never, it sounds like it's never been painted before and never been said before, right? But it has, it's just a recapitulation, and we're just fucking with it. We're playing, right? We're playing with the dynamics of rhythm over voice, right? Drums over singing, right? That's why it sounds so good when you have syncopation. Right, whatever that song is, I can't remember, but it's scattable. That melody line is that. Those little glissando slide things up into the right? It's all just play, and that's what it sounds like. It's drumming, right? It's the percussiveness of what we're playing, and then we assign melody to it. It's like, oh, I want to dance to this. It's literally the tension between the notes that we're playing, the syncopation, right? And then what that does to the body. It's literally, if you're not dancing, you're not doing it right. If you're not moving your body as you're creating, right? Sometimes the sway is forward, right? When you think about piano or guitar, going up into it, down strum, right? Pete Townsend, boom, he's getting a huge wind up. You can see it's a dance. That guitar strum, boom, he's up strumming, or an upstroke, right? Which is unnatural, but that's what created fame for him. That's what his blocking off word legend, musical signature, his dance, his moves, right? The alliteration of movement, right? We're just applying it through play, right? The application of play, the work, right? If work is play, man, you're never gonna play the fucking games again, right? You're going to play. You're gonna get towards that musical meditation, becoming a committed musician, as committed as you can be, which could just mean I got a fucking piece of paper and a pencil, and you're writing out the numbers instead of the note names, the F, the A, the G sharp, the G flat, right? All that bullshit, it confuses us, right? Saying the numbers, that's why I mentioned that grouping of notes, right? It's either 2 notes or 3 notes. Don't complicate it. 4/4, right? Billie Jean, 4 on the floor, right? Not complicated. It's made, music is made to help us feel the feeling, right? Language, it's like prefrontal cortex, like old linguistics shit, that reptilian brain, right? It's deep, unconscious emotions that we're trying to evoke or draw out from the underworld, right? We're trying to heal the dark side, not fucking starve it so it like destroys and eats our whole family and everything's sacred, right? That's what like musicians have gone mad. And some people say madness is musicality or beautiful songwriting, right? But there has to be a balance, right? But there has to be tension, right? Tension, verse, resolution, chorus, right? There's the payoff, the resolution of the chorus, right? We don't know what the hell this is. For all intents and purposes, I put a V there for verse because that's just where I'm starting, right? I'm doing my intro, the verse might turn into the chorus. We have to be honest and upfront with personifying the song as a physical being, as a baby, right? And some songs take 5 years to write, some songs take 50 minutes to write, right? And boom, you're in the recording studio already, where you have your phone out, right? I have my phone up here, I've got 20%. Let's see what it's at, 15, all right. 75% of that left. So I'm gonna work this. I wish I had my looper down here, right? Then I could just have a microphone, loop it, put it into the looper, and then I don't need to touch the piano anymore. I don't need to make a sound. The sound is in the box. The sound is on my headphones. The sound is recorded, right? That's what the red button affair is, you know? It's something that's immortal. It's the immortality of creation. If I walk out the fucking front door, you know, the dude that knocked on the door, hey, who are you? You know, who are fucking you? You're here at our home. Who the hell are you? State your name and objective, right? Yeah, you're not getting through the threshold of the door with your paperwork, and you didn't even have a fucking, like, I'm talking about like the Palm Pilot or the planner. You just had fucking paperwork with an envelope, you know? And I'm like, no, dude, no. Wait right there, right? That's what people try to do. They try to rush the lyric, right? It's like, no, let's put it down, let's put it into action, to create an action plan of feeling, right? And so those feelings, those thoughts become things, right? It's the intangible world, right? The dark shit that we're dealing with, and it's a resolution of that, bringing it up into the light, right? From darkness to light, right? And then back again, right? Doing that process improvement of the self, of the lyric, of the music, of the theory behind it, right? Hearing the story of like, okay, what am I doing here? I'm going 4, 1, F to C. Track it like a map. If you have metrics, right? Anything that wants to be improved needs metrics to do so, right? You have versions like digitally. If you're doing this digitally, you can go to the file, the properties of a file on a PC, or you can do it on a Mac too, but you can see the time within the document, right? You can see, okay, I've been editing this for 13 and a half days. Holy shit, you know, whatever it is, right? And you can go back to different versions. Make sure to save different versions. Save copy as. Do 2 or 3 copies once you have a significant portion that you can digitize, or that is digitized within that realm, right? Within the box, within the computer, right? Into the matrix. Set it up, glue it if you have to, right? That's what recording is. We're gluing these ideas. If we lose our goddamn minds tomorrow, we can get back to the eloquence, the musical expression, the feeling sense, right? This esoteric, bullshitty, airy-fairy sort of wording that once we go to sleep, you know, I've written a song before, I practiced it for 5 or 6 hours, and then I was like, I don't need to record that. I woke up and it was fucking gone. I never got that song back. It was just gone. It was like losing a child, you know, you're like, fuck man, like that was a part of me and I didn't care about it enough to as soon as I got the idea, you know, I just woke up this morning and I like scattered out this melody, and it was just in my head. It was from my subconscious. Maybe it was in a dream. The last 7 to 12 minutes is usually when we dream, and then we wake up. That's why it's so damn fresh, right? We could be dreaming all along, but these words aren't from nowhere. It ain't nothingness, but that's the task that, you know, we have to work from the standpoint of that nothingness that becomes somethingness, that becomes one feeling, dreamy. That's where it all started. And it started from the music, right? Dun, 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 dun. In the seventh, otherwise it's happy. It's da 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 da. It's this. Which is Imagine by John Lennon. Bum, ba-da-dum, bum. A little chromaticism, but it's F to C as well, you know? Or I think it's C to F, actually. Right? I'm inverting that. I didn't realize that until now. Like, holy shit. You know? We don't want to plagiarize. We don't want to, like, fuck with copyrights or anything. We've got 10% left. And we're over the our hour mark here. But, so, this is just an example of, like, don't let what's been created already fuck with you, fuck with your words, your feelings, the feeling sense, right? Let it infer meaning and depth and all of the good things that are going to be your unique idea, you know? And you got to love on that, like, as if we're personifying the song, literally, as if it's actually happening, because it is. That's the biggest lie that musicians tell other musicians, is that their songs aren't alive, right? And also, it's anti-revision. It's like, oh, this song is perfect. You know, I had a song for 12 years, and no one can fucking touch it, because I rehearsed it. The more you rehearse an idea or a demo, especially words, right? Because words have meaning, right? Instead of music having feeling and being very esoteric and out there, right? Words bring us in to the feeling sense of what the music alliterates towards, right? Putting a little bit of space in there, so give myself time to get there with the melodic line. And then the third, going towards the root, right? Or sorry, the root of the fifth. See, it's okay to fuck up. I'm learning this right now. I'm going there with you. You're going there with me, right? It's okay to fuck up, right? The root of the F major chord, because that major seven. The root of the F going to the third of the C major chord. F major, equal spacing, skipping these three white piano keys, right? Working in the key of C until we can transpose it to whatever the vocalist is doing. That's where the song goes. It shifts, it transfers, it mutates, it turns, it churns, right? Whatever wording you want to call that, the amalgamation is we have to honor the lyric, the singer, the vocalist, right? Where is their range? Cool. Freddie Mercury had a fucking 4.5 octave range, I think. That's fun. That's cool. That's tits, right? That's perfection. That's beauty. That's also immortalized through his death, right? D'Angelo just died. When we die, our music lives on, right? That's the beauty. That's what we hear and what we see. That's the idolization of musicians as we look up, right? We feel so dark and down into the underworld of non-famousness, right? We look at fame as this like cure-all, the shininess of what we're experiencing. We want it to relegate and change and work out the gristle of the darkness in our souls, right? But you can't fucking do that. You have to do it by feeding the bad wolf, right? In us all, a specified diet. Hopefully it's infused with music, right? I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to you, the deepest fucking parts of you that you don't want to look at. As soon as I took my friend Calvin's, I sent him some music. He sent back with, "Ooh, I kind of want you to go darker." And I go, "Oh, I trust him," right? The musicality of trust, right? What being musical does, what friendship does, right? Boom. It infers meaning, knowledge, spirituality, the comfort from discomfort, right? Because if you starve the bad wolf, like I said, it'll fuck up everything. I don't need to record that. That's hubris talking. That's the ego talking. That egoic, like, I'm gonna pull up my shirt until I fucking rip it. It's the inner child that's unhealed, that doesn't want to come out and play. You know, like that Offspring song, "Come out and play," right? Dun, 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 right? It's singable, it's laughable, it's play-oriented songwriting, right? That's all we're inferring. Only learn as much music theory that will help you to create. I mean, idea specific too, song specific, line specific. Talk about rapping bars, right? You got a solid 2-bar line, a solid bar. Work from that standpoint, right? Your first line should infer meaning into your second line. Boom. They should talk to each other. That 2-bar phrase, right? That fortune cookie that will, right? It's like soothsaying. It's like, oh my God, I have a meaning that was in a cookie. Oh my God, it's magic. No, it's just